All right, this is my first video into kind of how to grow plants. I know a lot of people say like, I don't have a green thumb and I can't grow anything, but today I'm just gonna kind of go over some tips on the basic science. We're gonna do a complete understanding video from starting seeds, watering with fertilizer through the whole cycle, from veg state, lighting, hoping to document kind of a complete grow. Should take about a month for veg and maybe about 10 weeks for flower. Even though the strain I think I'm gonna pick today is more like an 8-week strain based on running it a few times. So I have a water test kit right here. Little overkill, but should explain why some people can't pop seedlings or seeds to begin their grow. It's super easy, takes like 24 hours, and let me explain the science behind it. Water quality is everything. So here's like a quick chlorine test kit for pools, and a lot of people just use tap water. So I'll grab some tap water from the sink, and the chemical that you put in it is called OTO, and this will test for the presence of chlorine and other chloramines in the water. So 3 drops, we let it soak. Not sure if this is coming through, but it's quickly turning yellow, like a very strong yellow hue. There it goes, it's picking up. That means it's chlorinated water or chloramines present in the water. So we don't want to use tap water for anything that we do with these plants. It is much better to start with like a distilled drinking water or RO drinking water that you know is free and clear of a lot of these things that would set your plants back. So let me clean that out. The same test done with just drinking water, which is RO, not spring water. Spring water is just well water. We had 3 drops, crystal clear, perfect quality. So that's what we're gonna use to germinate our seeds, mix our water, do the entire grow. Something that we can trust is free and clear of chemicals, things like that that'll set us back in our chemistry. So water quality today, let's sprout some seeds. I've been growing a few different plants and crossing them, and every bag I label. So this was a banner crossed with a banner. So this is banner male, banner female, and then here's the seeds. These are gonna be non-feminized. Male and female will both sprout, so you wanna oversprout a few so you can cut your males. We have a banana kush crossed with a banana. I labeled the banana as female. I like to see what happens if I do a banana male with a banner male, a banana male with a banner female. So I label every bag of a seed harvest that I do. Again, non-feminized, so they're gonna come out male and female, over sprout, so you get the plant count that you want. We have some blue dream, which I'm not gonna pop these. They're too big for an indoor grow. They're kind of bushy. And then we have another one that's called Darth, and this was Vader OG. I only have a few seeds left. It's been fun to grow. It's an indica, Vader OG, and purple. What was the other? Anyway, there's another one. I'll remember it here in just a second. But anyway, this is another cool cross. I'm gonna do a few of these and a few of the banner cross banner. Last grow I did banner female with the banana, and we got all different bud types, all different phenotypes showing through, and I want the consistency of the banner cross banner. It's really a proven variety. So how are we gonna pop some seeds? Basically grab out a few of each. You're gonna need a paper towel, just like this, 1 sheet, put it down, put it on the counter. Grab a few seeds. And then we're just going to sprinkle them right into the middle of the sheet. So there's maybe like 10 different seeds right there. I'm gonna label the Ziploc bag with banner on it. And then we're just gonna fold this up to bury those seeds right in the middle. Do another fold back. Just lock them in there like you're making a little envelope. And the paper towel at first is gonna push against you, but there's a pouch, right? All the seeds are inside. And then I'm gonna take that purified water and just get this wet. So now it's completely damp, has everything that it needs to germinate. And then we're gonna pop this in the bag and let this sit for 1 day, maybe 2 days, day and a half, but probably no longer than 2 days. And then we're gonna see seeds go ahead and begin to germinate. Again, purified water, just a standard paper towel. Don't use Kleenex, it's too thin, it'll shred. Paper towel is what you need. And then Ziploc bag. Put it in like a sock drawer or somewhere where they can just germinate overnight. Okay, so we talked about germinating the seeds, putting them in a bag, letting them sit. I've actually had these in my grow tent now for 24 hours, same process. And so I wanna open this up, show you what to expect, and then go over how to transition these into the next phases. I've tried seed trays, flats, all kinds of potting up methods. The least disturbance as possible is what seems to work the best to get these plants fast. Time is money, your grow lights are running, nutrients are money. So I like to go from a solo cup right into a grow bag, and that's the final transplant. Some guys will do 1 gallon into 5 gallons. Some guys will do seedling trays into 1 gallon into 5 gallon, but every transplant is time, it's money, and this method works pretty well for me. So I take a stack of standard solo cups from the store. I stack about 4 or 5 of them at a time, and then I run an 1/8" drill bit through the bottom. So I get 3 holes in the bottom, and it goes through all of the cups. And this is what I use to fill my soil with. And I pre-filled like 3 of them here so we can pot up a couple that if we have some sprouts. Water quality. So from now on, instead of using just bottled water, we are gonna begin to use our TDS meter and our pH meter. These 2 tools are what creates awesome plants, whether it's house plants, vegetable gardens, knowing what pH and what TDS. TDS is the total dissolved solid. So if I test that bottle of water right now, it'll be a 0 to 3 TDS, meaning there's nothing in it. That tap water will probably be 300 TDS. So there's a bunch of stuff in it that we don't know. So we wanna start with clean water, 0 to 3 TDS, and then we'll talk about TDS later, but seedlings want a low dose like a baby, right? You don't feed a baby a steak, You feed these seedlings like 300 to 600 TDS, start moving up with size in the plant, and ultimately the mothers are like 2000 TDS. We'll be hitting them with a lot more nutrients. So opening the bag, I haven't opened this yet, but I can tell there's some germination. Like I said, the paper towel unfolds a lot better than toilet paper, which I've tried before. You can see the seeds there and see the little white shoots. That is the root that we were looking for correct germination. This way we're not potting a bunch up in a cup, wasting soil, nothing sprouted. We know already, look at that. Let me get a good shot of this. So you can see white little tails, a little bit of green. These things are perfect condition. It looks like we have 2 or 3 that didn't pop, but I see 3 lively ones there that are totally ready for a cup. So let's go ahead and plant them. Basically, just use like a marker tip. Fill your cups all the way to the top because this dirt is going to settle. And then I take a pen and just create a small hole right in the middle. That's where we're gonna put our seedling. Be gentle with these guys, pick them up by the seed head. That's what it looks like. Don't touch that white root. And then we're gonna drop this thing in here, tail down, just like that. And then we're gonna just lightly settle the dirt around it. This thing is going to launch right into a seedling. I always label the side of my cup because I'm going to grow 2 strains. So this one here, you can see I've already labeled it, banner. That one is potted up, so it's in there. Seed head's right on the top. That's where the 2 leaves will emerge. Tail is down. Let's do the next one. Same thing, a little poke. Grab the seed. Be gentle with them. Tail down. Cave that dirt around it just lightly. Let the water do the rest of the work. We don't want to squish it. Label your cup. Banner. And the last one. So we got 3 out of this little 6 seed run. Again, over pop seed because you're gonna have non-germination as well as males that you're gonna have to throw away. Males do not produce. All right, there it is, all 3. Next, I'll pH some water, double check this. We wanna get like 5.9, 6.2, somewhere in between there. We're not gonna use fertilizer for the first pop. We'll wait till they have 2 or 4 leaves, and then we'll start a slow fertilizer program to get them going. But as you can see, Ziploc baggie method, paper towel, couple seeds on there, a little bit of water, don't overdo it. Boom, those things pop right away. So super easy to get them to step 1, they're sprouted. Okay, update, seedling success. We're doing this whole grow, it's going good. So seeds went down into solo cups. You guys saw that. And I put the light on there. I'm gonna take you guys into the grow tent. We're not gonna go over the full setup today. If people are watching this, it's usually they have their own tent, they have their own lighting, they have their own setup. I'll go into mine and what I've done, why it works. You know, I went to school for horticulture. I got into this cannabis space with another corporate company, and we tested a lot of grow lights, what's cost efficient, what's not, what's a cheap light, how a cheap light produces, what really expensive lights produce. I think I've got a good balanced light after testing a number of them, and this works for me. I produce a decent amount and it's fun, it's a hobby, keeps me busy thinking, mixing chemicals, doing fun stuff with it. So let's go look at the seedlings. It's been 3 days. We got good pop. I'll take you to the tent, show you how the seedlings are doing. All right, here we go. Seedlings. The only thing that I'm watching is temperature. Cannabis seems to perform best, you know, nothing below 65, 60. They just start to slow down. You don't want 90s, they start to shut down. We do want this 70 degrees, but it's 110 here right now, 105. So AC's running, but the light is still competing with it. It's not ideal, but seedlings can run hot. You can abuse them. It's once we're into flower, you have to have this tent dialed in. But here we can see cotyledons sprouted, 2 true single leaflets. Next stack on top. I think within another couple days, we're gonna have some 3-finger, 5-finger. We're gonna get there pretty quick. My light is above where it normally will be in flower. Par on this light, which again, I'm talking over some people, but 18 inches, and that's where I want to keep it for flower. But right now, I just didn't want to nuke these coming out of the Ziploc bag and give them a little bit of a time to tan and get, you know, their sun acclimation to this new light setup. So I've got the light on a timer, 18 hours a day. The tent's all cleaned out from the last one. And I'm using the Mars light that's the long strip versus the square. I've used the square tent, square light. I just like to be able to, you know, get in my plants, train my plants, and having a length versus a square is just easier for me to manicure everything. So that's kind of the setup. I'll go into controls and automation and what I have. We're gonna do some fun stuff with soil moisture sensor, watching soil moisture content, the temperature. We'll add the carbon in here so that nothing's gonna have odor. And I have 8 plants in here right now because this grow, we're allowed to grow 6 plants. I know I'm gonna have a male in here, 2 males in here. So I'm gonna pick my next, once these get a few more leaves on them, I'm gonna chop out 2 that I don't like. Hopefully I'll be able to sex them. Usually when you top them the first time or the second time, they'll show you an indication if they're male or female, if you know what you're looking for. So hoping we don't get more than 2 males, and I can tell you the banner's been pretty consistent for high female. So there's the setup. They're growing away. Next video we'll do an update. We'll kind of show you the whole grow setup from controls and automation. And let's keep watching these as they grow, fill out. We'll move them to bags. We'll scrog this whole thing and put them into bloom. Stay tuned. The plan with this is to do a series. So this was part 1, helping everybody get started with seedlings, getting them in cups, getting them ready. The next following videos, we're gonna be watching these veg out, moving them from cups, putting them into bags, mixing nutrients, lighting schedules, pH, TDS, the whole process. This is just gonna be one grow of hopefully many different experiments. I like to mix it up, take notes. We'll note all the TDS levels that we're doing in this one, when we use different chemicals, what concentration. If we don't burn the plants, they can probably take a little bit more. Is that gonna contribute to the weight? So we're gonna go through all those fun experiments, and hopefully there'll be some follow-up to this with, hey, let's pop seeds again, let's pick a new variety. If you guys have strains that have worked for you, you like genetics for, you'll see with this banner, the trim is so easy. I've grown some very leafy trim varieties that I spend way too much time at the end of it trying to harvest, trying to jar it. And honestly, I don't enjoy the trim part as much as the grow part and the science behind the grow. So banner, you'll see, is a good strain. It's gonna produce nice pine cones. I barely have to trim them, they're ready for jar. But anyway, give your feedback. Feel free to send in your photos, your updates, if you have questions, if you're struggling. I didn't mention the soil that I'm using, but I like to buy Happy Frog or Ocean Forest. We were an organic certified hemp farm, and it was the soil that we had to play with the most because we had to do everything organic. Our inputs were watched by OMRI certification. But I just find it's a very good mix. I've tried Kellogg's products, other products. Grab a soil that works for you, but if you want to go along for this exact process, this is Happy Frog. We've had the same exact results with Ocean Forest. But anyway, subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. Get those notifications, see when I'm doing new videos. Feel free to comment, ask questions. I just want to build a little bit of a community around something that I do every single day. This isn't hard for me. It's just, I figured it's time to start putting it out there and see who else is doing it, what you guys have learned. Maybe I can up my process as well. I don't know it all. Every single run is an experiment, trying something new. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned, more coming.